بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسول الكريم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. This is the poem of Ibn al-IZZ rahimahullah and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The line 29 says ثلاثة هم وثمانون رجل ومعهم جماعة حتى كمل. So this is a completion or the end of what we mentioned in the last session. 83 men, along with them was a group which completed them. And in the next line, which I'll read after this, tells the number of the people in the second hijrah to Habasha, to Ethiopia or Abyssinia, modern day Ethiopia and Eritrea. The second hijrah, the first hijrah, as we read previously or went through previously, was 12 men and 4 women. And the second hijrah was 83 men and 18 women. So this is just mentioning that which we went through in the last session. وهن عشر وثمان ثم قد أسلم في السادس حمزة الأسد. There were 18 women then, which I just explained. In the 6th year, Hamza the lion accepted Islam. Hamza the lion of Allah radiallahu anhu accepted Islam. So Sayyidina Hamza radiallahu anhu is the Prophet's uncle. You can call him half uncle because he's not he's a half brother of Abdullah, the father of Rasulullah SAW. He was born from a different mother, but same father. Abdul Muttalib had another wife, and from that was born Hamza. Although he is the uncle of the Prophet ﷺ, there's only 2 months difference in the age of Rasulullah ﷺ and Hamza radiallahu anhu. So despite being the uncle, you would say it's more like a cousin, meaning they grew up together, and actually they had the same wet nurse that gave them milk to both of them. The same lady Makkah gave milk to both of them. So through Rada'a or through Rada'a by wet nursing, they are actually brothers, and through relations, he's uncle of the Prophet ﷺ, but almost the same age. 2 months difference is not much. So Sayyidina Hamza radiallahu anhu, he was hunting in the desert, and he heard somebody came and told him that, and he wasn't a Muslim at that time, and he heard that the Prophet ﷺ that Abu Jahl had insulted the Rasulullah SAW and abused him in front of the whole Quraysh, and the Rasulullah SAW did not retaliate. And this was against generally the custom of the Arabs of Jahiliyyah, was you have to retaliate and you have to do something back. And the Prophet ﷺ did not reply to them, and that filled Hamza radiallahu anhu with anger just hearing that. And he came to Abu Jahl, like he entered the Kaaba, the gathering where the people used to be sitting, and all the seniors and the elders of the Quraysh, the tribal leaders, were standing there. And he took his bow out, because he hunt with his bows and arrows, and he cracked his head open. He hit him severely on the head, and a severe cut, and he cracked his head open. He said, will you insult him when I'm on his deen? And he said, and I dare you to come at me. Like he challenged him by putting in my own words, I dare you to do something about it. Like he hit him, insulted him, and then said to him that I dare you to do something about it now. And the people, the relatives of Abu Jahl, came forward, and they started to, of course, intervene and so forth. But Abu Jahl told him to leave. Someone's going to get killed. But Abu Jahl tried to be the reasonable one, despite insulting Rasulullah previously. He has to show to his people that he's responsible, even though he's the father of ignorance, is Abu Jahl. And he said, leave Abu Mara, for by Allah I insulted his nephew deeply. So, and then Hamza radiallahu anh came to Darul Arqam, where Rasulullah used to teach. Sahabi Arqam bin Abil Arqam radiallahu anh used to teach deen in his house. He said that Islam became strong. On that year, 2 people accepted Islam. One was, this is in the 6th year, one was Sayyidina Hamza radiallahu anhu, and one was Sayyidina Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu. These 2 people, they're coming into Islam, Islam started to become strong through the nature of these people. Generally, before that, you had very poor slaves, poor people who are the representative of Islam, and they couldn't do much. And although you had very, very important Sahaba like Abu Bakr Jarrah, Osman radiallahu anhu, the leaders of various tribes and the children of leaders and so forth, they were accepting Islam. But when and Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu and so forth, these people were leaders of the Quraysh. But strength Allah kept with certain people, and to take a stance. And these are the people that alhamdulillah gave the Muslims a backbone to stand and confidently as Muslims. And the Muslim took a lot of comfort knowing that these people were there and they were on their side. So, and the next line, وَبَعْدَ تِسْعٍ مِّن سِنِي رِسَالَتِهِ مَاتَ أَبُو طَالِبٍ ذُو كَفَالَتِهِ. After 9 years of his prophethood, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Abu Talib, his guarantor, passed away. His protector, who protected him and supported him, he passed away. And in 3 days later, his wife, Sayyidina Khadija radiallahu anha, وَبَعْدَهُ خَدِيجَةٌ تُوفِيَتْ مِنْ بَعْدِ أَيَّامٍ ثَلَاثَةٍ مَضَتْ. After his death, Khadija radiallahu anha passed away. Only 3 days had passed between. So this is one of the Imams, Imam Ibn Kathir rahmatullahi alayhi, writing about this. He said that it was such a short amount of time between these two people, and it was such a test for Rasulullah SAW. Now we read about Hamza, and I mentioned about Umar ibn Khattab. That was 3 years before. They just been going at it, and the Quraysh have been opposing them, and Islam is getting stronger. But it is ostracized. There's boycotts. There's tortures. Those things are still continuing, and then Abu Talib passing away, he lost his external protection, because Abu Talib, despite being a non-Muslim, he was protecting his nephew within the councils of the Quraysh and so forth. So they couldn't really lay a free hand on him, and they were careful not to cross the line, because Abu Talib was one of the leaders of the Quraysh. So they kept at bay. He kept them at bay. And when he died, Rasulullah SAW lost his great supporter outside and protector. And from the age of 8, he's been with Rasulullah SAW and protecting Rasulullah SAW. And since his prophethood, he was the one that protecting Rasulullah SAW. That's from the external, the non-Muslim and external protector within the ranks of the Quraysh. Somebody's protecting him. And he lost his great comforter, a believing woman, his wife of 25 years. He was 25 when he married her. She was 40, and he was now at the age of 50, and she was 65. And his loving wife, all his adult children, as mentioned, they came from Sayyidina Khadija radiallahu anha. And Sayyidina Khadija, mother radiallahu anha, she was his comforter, and she was a siddiqah. She was true. She was from the first believers. Definitely the first woman to become Muslim. And she comforted Rasulullah SAW. She protected Rasulullah SAW as best, and she supported him in every possible way until she went into poverty herself, spending all her wealth on the Prophet SAW. And her rank is of the mother of the believers. She never got to see Medina Munawwara. And this is something to think about. Those Muslims who lived and died in Makkah, they never got to see Medina Munawwara. They never got to see Uhud and Badr and those victories. All these Muslims knew was that any day we could be attacked, kicked out of our houses, tortured, imprisoned, killed. That's the condition that she left this world. Not knowing that this matter will succeed, but didn't get to see it in her lifetime. So, and she radiallahu anha, and this goes for Sumayya radiallahu anha and Yasir radiallahu anha, all the Sahaba in the early days of Makkah, those who lost their lives and so forth. They never got to see the victories. I mean, we have the comfort and the luxury of knowing there's Muslims all over the world, in every country. There's masjids all over the world. I mean, look at the numbers that are migrating. There's only 80 or so Muslims, 100 Muslims migrating. That's almost in our masjid, in a small masjid here in Melbourne, in Doncaster, that's almost the number that's there for Isha, that comes and gathers in the evening. It just tells you the numbers and how precarious it was and how few in number they were. And these were the only Muslims on the face of the world. The people in Makkah Mukarramah that were with Rasulullah SAW, because Islam had died out all over the world. In the teachings of all the previous prophets had died out. So it was a difficulty. And here in these difficulties, who's comforting Rasulullah SAW at home every day? After the whole days of inviting people to Allah, people abusing him, swearing at him, as the hadith mentioned, spitting on him, throwing dust in his face, day in, day out, for year in, year out, is Khadija radiallahu anha. Now she passes away only 3 days from Abu Talib passing away. So now he's lost his external protector. The one is in the ranks of the Quraysh, and now he's lost his beloved wife, who's comforting him at home, in his work, in his mission. So now she's gone as well, and she's the one. And this, so you imagine the Rasulullah SAW is a human being, and he's lost that comfort and he's lost that protection outside as well. So what a difficult stage that our Prophet ﷺ would be going through in this time. And after this, of course, the glad tiding comes, where Rasulullah ﷺ, it gets little bit harder, or very hard actually, and then it becomes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends his help. Because with the difficulty, in the ma'al usri yusra, indeed with the difficulty comes ease. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is about to invite his Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to ascend to Isra Mi'raj. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Medina is about to come onto on the horizon, and so forth. But it was a difficult, it's called the year of grief, the Amul Huzn, the year of grief, because such a hard, he lost his supporters inside his house, the affectionate wife, and also his uncle, who's his protector. One was a Muslim, one was a not Muslim. One was protecting from the Quraysh outside, and one was comforting the home, and he lost these two within a space of 3 days. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to understand and appreciate all these sacrifices that our Prophet ﷺ, all the personal sacrifices, difficulty and tests that he went through. And despite that, he continued with the mission. And for that reason, we are people who say the kalima, we say La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. May Allah give us understanding and tawfiq. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.